So Splitgate 2 entered a closed alpha yesterday, and it's only here for the next few days. So today, I want to take some time to talk about Splitgate 2, give you my gameplay impressions, and also if you want to try it out for yourself, you can and you won't miss out on any of the time and the action for yourself. So drop your thoughts down below, drop a like if you enjoy the video and maybe the change of pace that is this different type of FPS title, and make sure to subscribe for more content like this, and of course, a ton of things like the Black Ops 6 coverage upcoming with the reveal for multiplayer and the beta next week. I'd love to have in the community for all that kind of stuff, but for now, let's get into it. So first and foremost, what is Splitgate 2? Well, it's a free-to-play first-person shooter eventually coming to PC, Xbox, and PlayStation as a follow-up to Splitgate 1, which was described as Halo but with portals, and I think that's a pretty accurate way to describe it, so you may be somewhat familiar with the name or the concept. Now, Splitgate 2 introduces some hero elements here, though. I know, today's day and age, it seems like that's overdone a bit, but I will say, personally, I didn't find it as gimmicky as some other games can be with hero elements. I mean, when the basis of the outplay mechanics are teleporting from one spot to another, I'm not really actively thinking about abilities as if it were the only thing available to use. And as we'll touch on a little bit later on in the video, there's a lot of times where like I'll go whole games without using those because I'm not thinking about that. I'm instead thinking about where I can change my angle of attack with portals rather than using the hero elements. So as for what's on offer in this alpha, again, a very limited time here available for this, only through this weekend. You have two modes, TDM and Hot Zone. TDM is a round-based variation here of Team Deathmatch, which the first team to 15 kills wins a round, the first to 3 1-rounds wins the match. Hot Zone is another round-based but hardpoint style mode. You capture set singular points around the map. The first team to capture 2 of those points wins a round. The first to 3 rounds wins the match. Now with this in particular, one thing I'd be careful of is that you can steal the objective. It doesn't go up and down like a tug of war for a capture point depending on who is on that point, like in Battlefield or COD. You can get it to where there's only 1 tick left, but get wiped, then the other team can just simply step on the zone and take that point. So just bear that in mind. You also have 3 maps of Ozone, Zenith, and Frontier. Ozone is the giant floating coliseum that you'll see from all the promotional material. Zenith is a facility on like a massive refinery ship, it seems like, set to almost be like a training facility for competition. And then Frontier is a map set at a facility in the middle of not like a jungle oasis, but like a desert city outskirts, but with a lot of greenery around it. So you have a lot of different variability in the sort of tone of each of these maps. And then beyond that, you also have 3 factions for use: Eros, Meridian, and Sabrask. Eros is like your mobility class with an ability of Rush, where movement and reload speed is boosted, along with a one-time health boost, and you have a team trait of Taskmaster, which is a faster ability cooldown for you and your teammates. Meridian is sort of your recon class, kind of. Your ability is Hyper Sight, which will briefly reveal enemies through walls for you and your teammates, but your team trait is Wellness, which is faster health regeneration for you and your squad. Sabrask is meant to be kind of like a tank or heavy class, it seems like, with an ability of a Smart Wall, which is a transparent barrier wall that you can shoot through but enemies cannot, and a team trait of Stockpile, where you spawn in with extra reserve ammo for you and your teammates. Now, each of these also come along with a few weapons, like an assault rifle, DMR, shotgun, SMG, depending on which faction you end up playing as. So it is a very limited amount of stuff that you can play around with, but here's the thing. I don't think you're going to get too sort of bored with it because it's not here for a long time at all. It's a closed alpha and is only available to play from today until the 25th this weekend. So then that begs the question, how do you get access to this? Well, currently the alpha is only available on PC. It is coming to console later on down the line, but this initial playtest is PC only. You can request access on Steam, but I don't know that you'll have the best luck with that. The best way that I would say is Twitch drops. Make an account if you don't already have one with the dev 1047 games. Link that account to your Twitch account and then watch a creator with drops on. If they have drops on, the only drop available during this is an alpha key, so you will be guaranteed to get this. You'll just have to watch for 2 hours before you get credit for it, and then it'll take like 5 to 10 minutes for your code to be emailed to you when you redeem it through Twitch, and then you can add it to your Steam library. Now, it sounds like a hassle, but trust me, it is much easier and much faster than waiting on, say, Steam requests being processed, even if you end up getting chosen. Now, you can simply tab the stream as well. You don't need to have it actively in front of you. You don't have to be listening to the audio or anything like that, but that's your best bet, I think, in gaining access here to the Splitgate closed alpha. Let's talk about the gameplay feel. How did this sort of couple of hours that I played here already, how's it feel? Well, like I said, it's not even my comparison, but previously I've heard so many people say that Splitgate as a whole is just Halo with portals, and 100% I think that's a great comparison. Like, unless it's the DMR, you do have that only hip fire feeling too, where you can, air quote, ADS to lower that spread, but the majority of gunfights are gonna feel like Halo. One thing that I would add is that for, say, the people that loved like Black Ops 3, this offers very similar movement systems to it with the boosts and dashes on a kind of like cooldown, like that meter of limited use, if you know what I'm talking about. Very similar in design and also in feeling. It's just about as fluid as that, which I think is an awesome thing. Now, if you're a newer player, you didn't play Splitgate 1, this might be a bit of a learning curve. Not everywhere can place portals, only on those glowing walls. The necessity of using them and your abilities to your advantage, it's a little overwhelming to begin with, but I think the gameplay, the fluidity of it, I think it's something that's pretty addictive, so you'll probably pick it up sooner rather than later. Now, there are some, again, slight differences to the standard shooter experience, like something like COD. That TDM is round-based. First 15 kills wins a round, first to 3 wins a match. There's respawn timers, but comparable to like resurgence modes, teammate kills, zone captures, and variables like that mean that you'll end up bringing that countdown for your teammates to get back down quicker. So sometimes you could be in a team fight, your squad gets wiped, and then you have to wait like the full 15 seconds to get back into the match. But others, you could be dead and instantly brought back. Now, personally, through like 4 hours of playing or something like this as the time of recording, definitely going to be jumping back in after I record this to play even more. But through about 4 hours of game time, I was honestly enjoying all the factions. But to be fair, like I said, half the time I was just focused on portal play and sometimes went whole games without using any of my class abilities. For weaponry, the assault rifle was mostly my jam. The DMR can be good. The SMG I played around with quite a bit, but I found for the maps that were provided, I had the best luck with the SMG on Zenith, just because there's so many tight hallways weaving in and out of that map. But the damage range of the SMGs aren't the best, so in the open areas and long distance gunfights you'd encounter in like Ozone or Frontier, I think you'd be outclassed. I don't think that'd be your best bet. The rifle, I'm a big rifle guy in any FPS I play, but I feel like in this in particular, for the maps we at least have right now, it was just the perfect combination of being able to get it done at a distance for those longer range gunfights, but also if I got into a pickle up close and personal, if I'm hitting chest and above, I'm going to win those gunfights. Now, one thing that I think is probably going to be a question for everybody is there skill-based matchmaking in this? Honestly, I don't know. Playing multiple hours in the first day, like as soon as the alpha opened up, when only the most hardcore and interested players are trying it out, every game has some level of sweat. Like, I'm sure it's going to water down a little bit by the end of this alpha, but my first few games, insanely easy, then it got progressively harder. Like, to the point where all I heard was portal shooting and team peeking and spawn kills, so like, yeah, there's definitely sweats on, zero denying that, but still plenty of fun to be found. But again, I think that's probably just the size of the player base at the moment, and when I was playing my games. First day of a niche shooter with limited drops available when I started, yeah, the guys who are in are probably going to be the ones that really want it, which totally fine, but again, might skew those results or like the sort of thought process on, is there skill-based matchmaking? I don't know. Anyways, the final thing I'll talk about is how does it perform? How is it in terms of PC performance? Well, to start, one thing that's nice to hear is that it's only like around 8 gigabytes of data to install, which is always welcome in an age where games push 100 gigabytes plus each year. So while the full version of the game later will definitely be more, it's nice that right now it's not eating any of your hard drive space. Performance-wise, it did feel really smooth, I think. I didn't feel any hitching or anything like that with my system. I ran it at 4K, ultra settings, and I was still getting upwards of my frame cap that I set 160 FPS because that's what my monitor caps out at 4K. So that was something that I manually set in game. Probably could go above and beyond because it was hitting it with ease. So zero issues going the distance here for that, pushing the quality and everything. But honestly, thought it played and performed really well. Now, my overall thoughts and would I recommend it? Overall thoughts, I had a really good time with this. I had a lot of fun with it. It's been a while since Splitgate 1. I was really excited to hear more about Splitgate 2 when they first announced it. And honestly, I kind of thought that they would wait a lot longer than they did to have this in any sort of playable state. I'm not complaining, like definitely happy that we get to play this, but kind of surprised me. But it's a fast-paced, different style shooter than you may be used to, offering up a little bit maybe more in terms of a skill gap. If you can end up using those portals to your advantage, you can end up making some really cool outplay maneuvers, but it is something that I just thought was a lot of fun to play around with. Unrelated, I do love the art style of this game, bright and poppy, but also not like super invasive or in your face about everything. So it's a cool like mixture of that kind of stuff. And some of the map design has a sort of like post-apocalyptic vibe to it. But again, being bright and poppy, it's a cool contrast there. Now, the final thing, would I recommend it? Absolutely. I mean, grand scheme of things, what do you have to lose? A few hours watching a stream for a key and then a little trying it out, perhaps? Honestly, I see no downside in that because here's the thing. There is no release date set for this other than 2025 right now. Could be Q1, could be Q4. So like, we have no idea when this will be back and playable for people to check out. So in my mind, check it out while you still have the opportunity to. I don't think that there's any loss in that. Worst case, it's not a game for you, you don't enjoy it, and you maybe lose like a couple of hours of your day, which if that's the case, I apologize for recommending it to you, but best case, you love it and you have a new game that you can look forward to, which that's the camp that I'm in. So really looking forward to playing more of this here this weekend, but also learning about when this will come out to a full build in either a beta state or just straight up a release. 2025 at some point, but a year is a long time, so we'll see what comes of that. But for right now, honestly, again, I don't think you have anything to lose. Check it out. Maybe you'll enjoy it. Maybe you'll find your next game for you. So that said, we're going to wrap it up. That is my impressions here of the Splitgate 2 closed alpha at the moment. Highly recommend checking it out while it's still available for just a few days. But let me know your thoughts down below. What do you guys think of Splitgate? What do you think of what we've seen here so far? Let me know your thoughts. But if you enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Splitgate, Black Ops 6, COD, and other FPS content. I'd love to have you in the community. For now, though, thanks so much for watching. Honest Best Espresso. I'll see you later. Take care and peace.